Hey, this is Frank Yosa, CEO of Ketones, and today I'm going to talk briefly about the question I get almost all the time. And now I can send a text message back to the person saying, hey, watch this video because it'll explain it better. I get a message that says, hey, I've got this race in 2 days. How do I take the ketone ester? And it just doesn't work that way. This is not like caffeine. Caffeine, you can just add to anything and it just, for many people, it'll make it much better. It is far more complex than that. I know people want things to be simple. They just want to just add something, but there are many changes. We have a separate protocol video on ketonade.com/protocol that's like 90 minutes long. I wish it wasn't long. People just want quick and simple. But if you're trying to compare, hey, I've got this 20-minute race, tomorrow, and I want to take the ketone ester, and I say, hey, well, what do you normally do? And they say, well, normally I take, one of these gel packets, which is 110 calories. And instead they want to try to take ketone ester, maybe a fourth or a fifth of the bottle, which is 20 calories. It's just not going to work that way. It's just not going to. It's a very small chance that it'll work. Maybe if you normally did fasted rides, and that's your norm, and you're a carb athlete, and you normally have fasted rides, and you take 5, 10, 15 mLs of that, yeah, sure, okay. But if you're normally a carb-based person, you're normally taking gels, and you're trying to swap out this 100 to 200 calories of fast carbs to swap in ketones, and then you're keeping your protocol of eating 2-3 hours before a big oatmeal sandwich, big oatmeal meal, or a big sandwich. It just doesn't work that way. There's just more details to it. We find that empty stomach is key. There's many different ways to take the ester. Some people take a dual fuel that sounds sexy, but taking ketone ester and glucose sounds great, but glucose creates lactic acid. Ketones don't create any lactic acid, but you really have to time the ketones right. And if you take too much, it'll lower your blood sugar too much and impair performance. If you take too little of it, it might do nothing, or it might be much worse than glucose. And also, the way that it works is it could limit your upper speed, your top speed, your 100% full out effort, something that you can only hold for a few seconds or a few minutes. But then your 98, your 99% top speed, you can hold much longer. So just everything of how you ride can change. Even the gear that you're in, especially if you're going uphills, it could be a different gear because ketone esters fuel the mitochondria differently in the slow twitch muscle than in the fast twitch muscle. Fast twitch muscles have no mitochondria, so they can't use a glucose as a fuel for the mitochondria. So all these different variables is just not something you just say, hey, I want to take this in a couple days, unless it really doesn't matter to you. If it really doesn't, if it's not that important of a race, great. Then take 15 mLs for men and 10 mLs for women, KE4, 15-20 minutes before the race. Unless you tell me, hey, normally I can't take anything for an hour before the race because I get GI issues from sugar or any food in your system, then maybe you have to move it back a half an hour before the race. But we tell people that you should at least practice with it 5, 10 times in practice. And some people will only take it in practice. They'll just take it in practice, and then on race day, they go back to their normal protocol. I get feedback saying, hey, what happened? Are the ketones still in my system? Because I just had an 18-month PR. I say, no, dummy. Sorry, it's an Instagram thing where the guy says, no, dummy, to his kid. No, but the recovery effect of the ketone ester during that week made it so that when the person went to race day, went back to their normal fuel, they just felt much more recovered, as if they were, fresh and tapering off. So I wish it was easy. It's really complicated. There's a 90-minute video that kind of explains, why do we recommend no food beforehand, 2-3 hours beforehand. And people running a marathon, oh, I thought I had to add an apple and a banana because otherwise I'd be hungry. This changes everything. You're not hungry. So if you're not hungry, that oatmeal that you eat 2 hours beforehand is not going to convert to fuel. So why are you eating the oatmeal? So many variables at stake. Hopefully this video will scare people out of just trying it straight for race day. If you do have a race in a couple days, what you can do is you can take it before bed. You have to start really small again, 5 mLs for a male, or half of a capful, 2.5 mLs immediately before bed. If you take too much, it'll wreck your sleep. You can even get it in your system a couple days beforehand, if you're not even working out, yeah, go ahead and take 5 to 10 mLs twice a day just to kind of get it into your system and just be, refueling your mitochondria so you're more refreshed and recovered for game day. And then after the game day, sure, take it for recovery afterward. Now, that's not going to help your race unless you have a multi-stage race. If you are taking it for the first time in a multi-stage race in a couple days, yeah, you could take it after your race because it's not going to impair that immediate performance, and it will make you more recovered for day 2 and day 3. So if you just got the ester and you want to use it immediately, and it's a 3-day stage race, take it a couple days before, including the nighttime, and then take it after race number 1 and race number 2 and race number 3 as well. As far as how much to take afterward, normally we tell people to take less and less during and before because it'll drop blood sugar too much, but afterward you can take more. You can take 10 to 20 mLs. We had one person taking 60 mLs. We actually had him cut down to 30 and 40, and he felt the same thing. So hope that helps explain. I know it can be frustrating because people just want things to be easy, but it's a whole new fuel, whole new dynamics, and many things at play, whether you're keto, non-keto, fasted, and all that stuff. All right, thanks.